Welcome to Psychology of Humans. Risk-taking is one of the most fascinating behaviors in human psychology. Every decision you make carries some level of risk, from starting a business, changing careers, ending a relationship, moving to a new place, or even sharing your true feelings. Sometimes taking a risk leads to growth, opportunity, and transformation. Other times it leads to setbacks, mistakes, or failure. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of risk-taking. We'll explore why some people take more risks than others, how the brain calculates danger and reward, why fear tries to stop you, why avoiding risk can sometimes be the bigger danger, and how you can make smarter decisions when facing uncertainty. By the end of this video, you'll see risk in a completely new way, not as something to fear, but as something to understand. Let's begin. Risk-taking is not random. It is psychological. It is biological, and it is shaped by your past experiences. Every decision you make sits between two forces, fear and possibility. Fear tries to protect you. Possibility tries to expand you. Risk-taking is the balance between the two. The first thing to understand is that your brain is not designed for modern risks. It evolved for ancient risks. Tens of thousands of years ago, survival depended on avoiding danger. Exploring unfamiliar areas, trying new behaviors, or engaging in uncertainty could literally kill you. Because of this, the brain developed a bias toward safety, a psychological rule called loss aversion. Loss aversion means your brain feels the pain of loss more intensely than the pleasure of gain. Losing 100 pounds feels worse than gaining 100 pounds feels good. Missing an opportunity feels less dangerous than taking one that fails. This is why people often avoid risks even when the benefit is far greater than the downside. To the brain, safety feels like survival. But here's something fascinating. Risk is not just fear-based, it is reward-based too. Inside the brain, dopamine drives curiosity, exploration, and reward-seeking behavior. Dopamine pushes you toward new experiences, toward growth, and toward opportunities. Fear pulls you back. Dopamine pushes you forward. Every risk you consider is a competition between these two systems. This is why some people enjoy risk more than others. People with naturally higher dopamine activity tend to seek novelty, adventure, and challenge. They enjoy uncertainty. It energizes them. They find pleasure in stepping into the unknown. On the other hand, people with higher sensitivity to threat signals, especially in the amygdala, feel uncertainty more intensely. Their nervous system reacts more strongly to potential danger. They prefer predictability, stability, and control. Both personality types exist for a reason. The world needs explorers, and the world needs protectors. Human evolution required a balance between risk-takers and risk-avoiders for societies to survive. Let's explore something deeper. Risk-taking is not just about action, it's about interpretation. Two people can face the same situation, yet one sees danger while the other sees potential. Your interpretation comes from your past. If you grew up with judgment or criticism, your brain learned that taking chances is dangerous. Your risk patterns are not personality traits. They are learned survival strategies. Let's talk about comfort zones. A comfort zone is not a place. It is a psychological boundary. Stepping outside that boundary triggers discomfort, and discomfort signals risk. But growth lives exactly outside that boundary. This is why almost every major step in life requires some level of discomfort. Without risk, nothing changes. Many people confuse comfort with safety, but staying in your comfort zone can be the biggest risk of all. When you avoid risk, you avoid growth. You avoid opportunity. You avoid experiences that shape your future. Over time, your comfort zone shrinks. Life becomes smaller. Choices become limited, and the brain begins to mistake stagnation for security. Now let's talk about how the brain calculates risk. Your brain performs a cost-benefit analysis, but it doesn't do it logically. It does it emotionally. The prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, evaluates the facts. The limbic system, the emotional part of your brain, evaluates the feelings. The decision is the outcome of the battle between emotion and logic. This is why people say they're afraid of public speaking, even though it's physically safe. Their logic knows there's no danger, but their emotions interpret social judgment as a threat. The emotional brain wins. Risk-taking becomes easier when you learn how to regulate that emotional system, when you train your brain to reframe fear, reduce overthinking, and trust your ability to handle outcomes. Let's talk about overthinking. Overthinking amplifies perceived risk. It exaggerates negative possibilities. It creates scenarios that feel real, even though they haven't happened. Overthinking is the psychological enemy of risk-taking. The more you think about the fear, the more the fear grows. But when you act, the fear shrinks. The fastest way to reduce anxiety is through movement. Taking even a small step. Action interrupts fear. Fear thrives on imagination. Action forces the brain to deal with reality. Let's explore why people avoid risk. One reason is fear of failure. But failure is not the real fear. The real fear is the emotional experience attached to failure. Embarrassment, shame, disappointment, judgment, rejection. People don't fear losing, they fear feeling. The second reason people avoid risk is uncertainty. The human brain hates uncertainty. It feels unsafe. It activates survival instincts, but uncertainty is also the gateway to possibility. Everything valuable in life, love, success, growth, opportunity, begins with uncertainty. The third reason is habit. People become comfortable in their routines. Even when the routine is unhealthy, it feels predictable, and predictability feels safe. But safety and fulfillment are not the same. Another key factor is self-belief. People who take healthy risks don't believe everything will go perfectly, but they believe they can handle whatever happens. Confidence is not a guarantee of success, it is a belief in your ability to adapt. Risk-takers are not fearless, they are self-trusting. Let's talk about calculated risk. Smart risk-taking is not impulsive, it's intentional. It considers potential outcomes. It weighs long-term benefits against short-term discomfort. It looks beyond fear and examines reality. A calculated risk is when the potential reward is worth the potential cost. The goal is not to eliminate risk, it's to understand it, to navigate it, to make decisions based on information, not fear. Every major success in history required calculated risk. Every breakthrough, invention, and transformation began with someone stepping into uncertainty. Let's explore something important. Risk tolerance grows with experience. Every time you take a risk, even a small one, your brain learns that you can survive discomfort. You can survive uncertainty. You can survive not knowing what happens next. This builds psychological resilience. And resilience increases your capacity for future risks. Let's talk about the fear of regret. Many people avoid risk because they fear failure, but long-term studies show something surprising. People regret the risks they didn't take far more than the ones they did. Missed chances create long-term emotional pain. Failed attempts cause short-term pain. Avoiding risk creates a lifetime of what-ifs. Risk is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. Let's talk about internal resistance. When you consider doing something challenging, starting a new project, meeting new people, or applying for a better job, your brain often creates excuses. It's not the right time. I'm not ready. What if it doesn't work? These excuses feel logical, but they are emotional protections. Resistance is fear in disguise. The best way to overcome resistance is through exposure. Start small. Take tiny risks. Build momentum. When your brain learns that taking small risks is safe, it becomes more comfortable with bigger ones. Let's explore the idea of psychological flexibility. This is the ability to adjust your thoughts and actions even when you feel fear. People with high psychological flexibility take more healthy risks, build stronger relationships, adapt faster, and achieve more long-term success. It is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward even when you feel fear. Let's talk about the relationship between risk and self-identity. Your identity determines how you perceive risk. If you see yourself as someone capable, resourceful, and adaptable, risks appear smaller. If you see yourself as someone fragile, easily judged, or likely to fail, risks appear bigger. Changing how you see yourself changes how you take risks. Another important idea is that risk-taking is contagious. If you surround yourself with cautious people, you become more cautious. If you surround yourself with growth-minded people, you become more willing to challenge yourself. Social environments shape behavior more strongly than most people realize. Your risk tolerance rises or falls with the people around you. Now let's talk about something deeper. Psychological safety. When people feel safe emotionally, mentally, or socially, they take more risks. When people feel unsafe, they retreat into patterns of avoidance. This is why supportive relationships, healthy environments, and positive social circles matter. They reduce the emotional weight of risk. Let's explore decision-making. Many risks feel overwhelming because people try to make huge decisions all at once. But psychologically, humans are better at making small decisions repeatedly. Breaking a big risk into smaller steps reduces fear and increases momentum. This creates what psychologists call progressive commitment. Each small step builds confidence for the next one. Let's talk about optimism. Optimism is not blind positivity. It is the belief that you can create good outcomes through your actions. Optimistic people take more healthy risks because they assume improvement is possible. Pessimistic people avoid risks because they assume failure is guaranteed. Let's end with this truth. Your mindset determines whether risk feels like danger or opportunity. One more powerful idea is that risk-taking is essential for identity growth. You cannot become someone new without taking risks. Identity changes only through behavior, and new behaviors always involve uncertainty. Risk is the gateway to a stronger self. Let's end with this truth. You don't grow by avoiding fear. You grow by walking toward it. Risk is not something designed to break you. It is something designed to shape you. Every risk you take is a vote for the future you want. Every step outside your comfort zone expands your life. You don't need to eliminate fear. You need to move with it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.